Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the pirate who inspired Luffy to start his journey. Shanks and his crew are incredibly powerful and mysterious, and he's now the only Yonko of the old generation that has not been defeated. But yet he still hides many secrets that make many people consider him a possible villain in the future. Shanks also somehow manages to be in places incredibly quickly, and as an example of this, it was when he managed to intercept Kaido's ship and then arrive in Marineford, which was a very distant location. Even the sailors were surprised by this realization, which may mean that Shanks possesses some tool, or at least powers, capable of making him move incredibly fast. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the mystery that Shanks and his crew may be hiding from us, how he was able to get Marineford so fast when he was so far away, and we'll talk about the possibility of him having one of 3 ancient tools. But before we go any further talking about our red-headed man of mystery, if you're new to the channel, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd consider leaving us a like or even subscribing with a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help us out in a bigger way, consider sharing the video or the channel with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So friends, one could argue that Shanks was one of the most important characters during the whole Battle of Marineford. In fact, he prevented major catastrophes from happening, and even before this battle, Shanks had already tried to prevent it. But once Shanks told Whitebeard how dangerous it would be to allow Ace to kill Teach alone, of course, Whitebeard ignored his words, and so this great battle in Marineford was pretty much guaranteed to take place. When Ace was defeated, captured, and then handed over to the Marines, Shanks saw no other choice but to lessen the amount of lives that would eventually be lost during this battle. So he began to act in a secretive manner so that he could later interfere directly and stop this conflict from getting out of hand. Kaido, knowing that a member of Whitebeard's crew had been captured by the Marines and was gonna be executed, moved to Marineford because he knew that Whitebeard would show up there. If Kaido were to get there in time, this would allow him to confront Whitebeard and kinda go out in that blaze of glory, because it would be this way and this thing that Kaido had been looking for. And he would really probably not take no for an answer and try to take the lives of Newgate and the people around there. But if this had happened that way, it would have been incredibly dangerous for everyone. As we've just seen in Wano, Kaido is an immensely destructive force. I mean, just one of his attacks in his dragon form would have been able to completely destroy Marineford. So someone needed to stop Kaido before he could even get close to Marineford, because as his fruit allows him to transform into a dragon, he could just fly there and go there ready and looking for a fight. It was therefore necessary to confront him at sea to prevent him from approaching his final destination. But there was no one strong enough to stop him. No pirate or marine that could have that ability. Only a Yonko could confront another Yonko, and that is exactly what happened. Upon learning that Kaido was going to Marineford, Shanks, together with his pirates, moved as fast as possible to intercept Kaido so they could stop him and prevent him from getting all the way there, as they were trying to avoid further destruction in this great battle that was already gonna take place. Now, we don't know how Shanks did it, but he did manage to get Kaido to back off, and that prevented him from going to Marineford and causing even more trouble. But at least we know, it seems, that there was no combat between Shanks or Kaido. When Shanks did arrive in Marineford, none of his pirates nor he had any injury or seemed to be damaged at all, which could mean that Shanks managed to make Kaido give up this fight. Somehow, that was not necessarily due to violence. Now, this is something really unusual coming from Kaido, since he is a great warrior who always prioritizes battle over dialogue, and he wouldn't just back down from a confrontation so easily with just words. On top of that, Kaido's pride wouldn't allow him to turn his back on a conflict that could further increase his fame. So it could be that Shanks had something to offer Kaido, something very valuable, or at least a proposal that made him back off. But this is not the main point of this video. But the point is that after negotiating with Kaido to get him to back off, he somehow managed to get to Marineford in a very short time. And Shanks did this all really fast. Even the sailors and Marines were surprised by his arrival because he was so fast. I mean, we could see that Shanks' boat maybe has something engineering similar to the Thousand Sunny that of course has the ability to give great forward momentum when they use the coup de boom and they are able to rocket forward. But what we see going on at Marineford, Shanks' boat doesn't seem to have any anything special. It's just a simple boat that seems to be really quite sturdy, but nothing more than that. So that means that some member of his crew was responsible for making the boat go faster. However, the main members of Shanks' crew don't appear to possess any devil fruits. They use items for combat and weapons, so the chances of any of them possessing a devil fruit are really quite low. And since they don't possess devil fruits, then they don't have at least any special powers capable of moving the boat that fast. This opens up the possibility that Shanks could have something very powerful in his possession that is able to make him move at a high speed through the sea. Now, as we know, there are the Kodai Heki, the 3 ancient and powerful tools that originated in the ancient history that was lost more than 800 years ago. So far, we've only had the existence of 2 of them confirmed, one of which is Poseidon, who is a mermaid princess that inherits the ability to command the Sea Kings. With this power, she can summon many Sea Kings and move islands or even cause massive destruction at sea. As this power can only be inherited by a mermaid princess, it's impossible for anyone to get this power or awaken it without being worthy. And of course, the current bearer of this power is Shirahoshi, the mermaid princess, and her real potential still really isn't known as she's only been able to learn about this power recently. But the little we have seen is that she definitely can control Sea Kings and has already proven incredibly strong. I mean, she has an armament of giant, incredibly powerful fish at her disposal, and this would allow her to start or finish any major conflict against any kingdom should she wish to. Another Kodai Heki, or ancient weapon, of course, is called Pluton. Its real appearance is still unknown. However, it is said that Pluton is a large ship with incredible destruction capability, and its destructive power could greatly surpass a buster call that are, of course, initiated by the Marines. In addition, this ship is very strong and created with the most valuable and resistant materials in the world, which allows the carpenters who built it during the Void Century to create what could be considered the perfect ship. There are many theories that the real Pluton still exists, but it's just in a hidden location, like somewhere underground in Alabasta. But we have no information about its location or its real power. But we do know that Frankie had a copy of the designs of this boat, but to prevent it in order of falling into CP9's hands, he burned them right in front of Spandam and CP9. But of course, before destroying the blueprints for Pluton, Frankie had said that he had memorized all the informations that were contained within, because it could be useful in the future, for if the real Pluton is found, he at least could create a new one to be able to fight the original. And finally, there's Uranus. Now, we don't have any information or appearance of what this thing is, but its name refers to a god of Greek mythology, and that is the god of the heavens. But as we know, in the ancient weapons, these things can be living or non-living things. And if it is a non-living thing, it could be that Uranus is a tool that enables any bearer to use all of its power, or maybe it's something that can be inherited. Either way, Uranus is gonna be something with an immense amount of power. I mean, if you just consider the other 2 ancient weapons, it can't be something minor. And this could mean that it may be in Shanks' possession, and that he's able to make some really amazing things happen with this great power. To give you a little context about Uranus, of course, he comes from the Greek creation myth, but is also similar to the Hurrian creation myth. And in Hurrian religion, the Ainu, or of course Uranus, is considered a sky god, and he kind of rules the sky and also represents law and order. It's also possible that Uranus was originally an Indo-European god with the kind of Vedic Varuna and was the supreme keeper of order, who later became the god of oceans and rivers. So it could be that this Uranus interpretation could have all of these things, could have something to do with the sky as well as the oceans. This leads to a potential that Uranus may have the ability to alter gravity, or at least have something with the kind of concept of the sky god or the ocean god that would allow Shanks' boat to fly and reach great speeds. On the destructive side of the coin, it also means that if you were able to control the sky and the seas, you would have immense destructive power and the ability to sink pretty much any ship in front of you, which really would be this double-edged sword and the thing that makes Uranus incredibly powerful. But again, Uranus's existence has been hidden for many, many years, which could mean that it was just in a very well-hidden place, and Shanks could have found it on his adventures with his crew. Or Shanks could have even known about this location because he was a member of Roger's crew, and together with his captain and Odin, they were able to read all the poneglyphs and even the ones with the locations of the ancient weapons. Since Roger's goal was not to get the ancient weapons, rather reach the final island, he continued with his adventure in search of the location of the One Piece treasure. But Shanks may have kept it in his memory about where these ancient weapons were. This would have allowed him to find Uranus, the ancient weapon that he was most interested in obtaining, since it would be very useful during his adventure. So it may be that Shanks currently has Uranus in his possession, but just hasn't revealed the real reason why he needs this power. But it could be that Shanks is already preparing for future conflicts that may arise in our story in the future. With a power capable of controlling gravity or the sky or the seas, he could theoretically wipe out kingdoms if he wished. And this would even be one of the reasons why the Gorosei may have not made him a target. For should they try to do something against Shanks, he could activate Uranus's power to crush everyone on Marineford, and this would allow Shanks to easily take the lives of the celestial dragons and everyone there. But of course, this is not Shanks' goal, and he may be after something that would allow him to stop the great battle yet to come. So at the moment, he's just using the power of Uranus to be able to move quickly throughout the seas. To a man like Shanks, every minute is precious, and if he's able to stop a possible conflict that could change the fate of the world, it may be that he would use Uranus to get him to Marineford, and that was how he was able to get there so fast. This would be a power that no one could see or even suspect that he might be using, because Shanks might have been extremely cautious and had managed to arrive so quickly and quietly in Marineford that no one really saw him and his crew show up. This idea alone shows the potential power that Uranus might have and how powerful indeed it is, to the point of being able to move Shanks' ship at such a high speed and with a power that not even the admirals could feel its presence, or at least feel it coming towards them. But with all that said, my friends, we'd love to know what you think. How do you think Shanks got to Marineford? Do you think that he has Uranus, or maybe one of his crew members has some additional power? Or do you think it may be just due to his hockey? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video here on our favorite red-headed Yonko, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or maybe hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.